We can all joke that the best waiters went to art school, but it isn't actually true that all artists die penniless and alone. We've curated a list of 15 living artists that have banked some impressive balances. So let's delve into the world of high rollers of art. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Number 15. Julie Meritou, undisclosed. In 2020, Times named Julie Meritou as one of the most influential people of the year. Born in Addis Ababa to teacher parents, she fled civil unrest to live and be educated in the USA. Her large-scale works look like futuristic architectural plans, and there's a waiting list a few years long to get a hold of one. When they do come up for auction, they easily sell well over their estimated value. In 2013, Christie's New York sold her painting Retopistics, a renegade excavation, for $1 million at auction. A further 15 of her pieces have sold for over $1 million, making her some solid bank. Number 14. Georg Baselitz, $20 million. One fact most people know about German artist Georg Baselitz is that in 1969, he started painting upside down. He did this as an attempt to look past the content-driven character of his younger work and rather focus on the art of painting. He created his distinct look from influences from African sculpture, Mannerist period style, and the Soviet-era illustrations. What is most impressive is his massive body of work he created over 50 years of continual painting and creating. In 2013, Baselitz was quoted as saying, "Women don't paint very well. It's a fact. There are, of course, exceptions." He was referring to the fact that women's works don't get the high price tags of men, which in itself is a conversational and not purely fact-based statement. However, it is true that there are far fewer women that have been recognized for art over the years, but that has a lot more to do with societal norms than talent. Number 13. Chuck Close, estimated worth $25 million. Chuck Close is a prolific, large-scale portrait artist. What makes his art so unique is he produces these massive pieces confined to a wheelchair since 1988. This hasn't stopped his work from being some of the most sought-after canvases in the world, though. Originally, Chuck Close was known for his photo-quality hyperrealism paintings. Since his paralysis, he's adapted his style, but not slowed down his creativity. He paints with a brush strapped to his wrist and colors massive canvases one square at a time to create perfect, detailed portraits using a low-resolution grid of squares. In 2011, Close and other artists sued the New York Christie's and Sotheby's auction houses for systemic royalties fraud. A ballsy move which might force him to start selling on Etsy one of these days. A piece of Chuck Close's to hang in your home will set you back between $150,000 to $5 million. Number 12. David Hockney, net worth $40 million. Since his entry into the pop art movement of the 1960s, David Hockney has been an incredible contributor and influential British artist. His talents don't just lie on canvas. He's also a successful stage designer, draftsman, and photographer. He'll be 84 in 2021, but is still enjoying the spoils of his great career. In November 2018, his work, Portrait of an Artist, sold at auction for $90 million. This is the most expensive artwork by a living artist ever sold at auction. The previous record was held by Jeff Koons, another artist on this list coming up pretty soon. Koons didn't take defeat for long, but more on that a bit later. Number 11. Gerhard Richter, net worth $40 million. Gerhard Richter's work is inspired by Picasso and Jean Arp. His imagination has no limits, and he is certainly not limited by medium. He paints in abstract and photorealism style, excels in photography, and has even done glass sculpture, all with the same contemporary style. He's best known for his textured, multicolored, oil-on-canvas abstract style of painting. In October 2020, Gerhard Richter became the most expensive Western artist to sell at an Asian auction when his 1987 abstract painting Abstraktes Bild sold for $27.6 million via live stream. Number 10. Banksy, $50 million. Banksy hardly needs an introduction, which is ironic seeing as no one really knows who he is. But Banksy has moved from stencil street artist to selling pieces at major auction houses in the millions. His playful impressionist piece, Show Me the Monet, completed in 2005, sold through Sotheby's for nearly $10 million. Another piece, Devolved Parliament, sold in 2019 in London for $12 million. Number 9. Bridget Riley, $85 million. We love this comment on Bridget Riley by art critic Robert Melville, who said, "No painter, dead or alive, has ever made us more aware of our eyes than Bridget Riley," which is such a great description for her dazzling op-art pieces that have sold for millions. Her repetitive, clean lines pop out like a magic eye picture and then draw you in. Her 1966 work, Untitled Diagonal Curve, recently sold at Christie's London for $5.7 million, but this isn't the first high roller price tag she's gotten. 2 more of her pieces have fetched over $5 million on the auction block. Number 8. Takashi Murakami, $92 million. Takashi Murakami coined the term superflat, which describes both the aesthetic characteristics of the Japanese artistic traditions and post-war Japanese culture and society. His paintings reflect Japanese culture, and while he's been involved in flat painting, illustration, and animation, it's actually his fashion collaborations that have brought him the most fame. When he collaborated with Louis Vuitton, Takashi Murakami achieved celebrity status. He also created an album cover for Kanye West, and the world can't get enough of his style. Number 7. David Cho, net worth $200 million. David Cho is one of the youngest artists on our list today at only 44 years old. He's a graphic novelist of Korean descent known for his American figure murals surrounded with frantic, raw street patterns. His painted figures discover areas of degradation, desire, and adoration in his personally coined dirty style. In 2007, when Mark Zuckerberg asked Cho to paint some murals at the Facebook offices, Cho made the wise request to be paid in Facebook stock rather than cash. When Facebook went public in 2012, it was a major windfall for Cho. He co-hosts a podcast with Asa Akira, the name of which we can't say here, but it's an interesting name for a lifestyle and entertainment podcast. We'll leave it up to you to research it. Number 6. Jasper Johns, estimated worth $300 million. After the youngest comes the oldest artist on our list, Jasper Johns, topping the chart at 91 years young. He's most well known for his 1983 piece Flag, a painting of the U.S. flag, which in 2014 sold for $87 million at auction at Sotheby's. Number 5. Bryce Marden, $500 million, unconfirmed. Right off the bat, let's get this out of the way. In 2008, Bryce Marden sold a painting at auction at Sotheby's for $9.6 million. His art has evolved throughout his career. He began as a minimalist, painting monochromatic panels. Roman and Greek architecture and then Asian cultures highly influenced his style changes throughout his career. Art critic Peter Schjeldahl described him as the most profound abstract painter of the past 4 decades. Number 4. Jeff Koons, $500 million. Finally, we're at Koons, number 3 on our list and a huge name in the art world. Jeff Koons hasn't always been a high roller. He started off like most other artists, struggling to keep his hokey Soho loft. But through his prolific career, he's worked up from art school graduate to a massive Chelsea studio owner. He owns a 1,500-meter square factory near Hudson Rail Yards in Chelsea, with between 90 to 120 employees working on all number of Koons projects. Here he produces his massive reflective sculptures and oversized Warhol-esque canvases. But what was the piece that broke the record? It was the Balloon Dog, Orange, not actually a painting, rather a sculpture, but sold for $58.4 million to an anonymous phone bidder in 2013. But in 2018, Hockney sold his piece for $90 million. Then by 2019, Koons had regained his title by selling Rabbit at Christie's for $91 million. Apparently all's fair in love and art. Number 3. Damien Hirst, net worth $1 billion. Before becoming an artist, Damien Hirst could probably be described as an art critic and entrepreneur. Many of his pieces are a commentary on other art and design, and his take on iconic pop references earn him an absolute fortune and legend status as an art elite. No one has made polka dots as provocative or animals in formaldehyde quite as appealing or appalling as Damien Hirst has, and he has the billions to show for it. Since being named a member of the Young British Artists in the 1990s, he's been on a non-stop path of success. He's considered the United Kingdom's richest living artist, and with $1 billion banked, we would tend to agree. Number 2. Ed Ruscha, $1.2 billion. Ed Ruscha is another American artist, but of the pop art movement. His work depicts iconic Southern California. He sold more than 50 paintings for over $1 million and one for $6 million, with some change to spare. Number 1. John Curran, $1.43 billion. John Curran's paintings contain provocative, sexual, and social scenes, most of which are actually satirical. What is unusual is that although he was born in 1962, Curran's painting technique is similar to the skills of the old masters with Renaissance style. It's a stark contrast to the contemporary fashion and scenery in his pictures. 3 of his most famous works are Hot Pants, Honeymoon Nude, Nude on a Table, and in 2019, he did his first show after 15 years. We'll leave you with his words. Often I find myself attracted to ideas that are ill-advised and bad. It's not because I want to shock people or show how open-minded I am, but for some reason stupidity is a theme for me in painting, and I find it liberating. I don't know why, but I feel freer. So Alexers, who's your favorite artist and why? Are they on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, you stuck with us until the end, you're getting a bonus. It's not just the male painters that rake in the big bucks, but there's certainly a big difference between price tags of female and male artists. The woman who currently holds the record for the most expensive painting ever sold at auction of a living female artist is Jenny Saville. In October 2018, her 1992 painting, Propped, sold at Sotheby's London. The painting is a seated nude self-portrait of the artist and took home a record-breaking $12.4 million. We love when she said, "I do hope I play out all the contradictions that I feel, all the anxieties and dilemmas. If they're there in the work, then that's brilliant." Thanks for watching, Aluxers. We appreciate you and your thumbs up. And don't forget, we have plenty more videos where this came from. All you have to do is subscribe.